Good evening, guys, and welcome to Storyteller's Corner. It's very hot and muggy. Whoa. There's no breeze whatsoever. But anyway, guys, welcome back to Storyteller's Corner for the second time today. This evening, we have chapter 3 of our new story, The Little Village of Willowmere. And chapter 3 is called The Forgotten Friend of Willowmere. So let's read on, guys, and see what's going on. By the time Clara, Arthur, Molly and Pip and the rest of the villagers returned to Willowmere, the sun was beginning to sink behind the hills. The village looked exactly as it always had. The little cottage stood peacefully along the lanes. Smoke curled gently from the chimneys, and the baker smelled of warm bread. The village pond reflected the pink and orange sky. Yet somehow everything felt different. Everyone was thinking about Elsie's words. The key will only appear when Willowmere remembers what it has almost forgotten. What could it mean? Clara wondered as she placed the wooden box carefully on her kitchen table. Arthur adjusted his glasses and studied the golden key that had appeared. "It's a very clever lock," he says. "Can you open it?" Pip asked eagerly. Arthur smiled. "Possibly." He took out a small collection of tools from his pocket. Molly leaned closer. "Do you horses carry those?" Arthur looked surprised. "Of course." "Why?" "You never know when a mysterious box may need opening." Molly nodded seriously. "This is probably the most useful thing I have ever heard." Arthur gently placed the key into the lock. It turned. The box opened with a soft click. Inside was not treasure. There was no jewels, no gold coins. Instead, there was a bundle of old letters tied together with a faded blue ribbon. Clara carefully picked them up. The first letter was addressed to "My dear friend Thomas." Arthur's expression changed. "Thomas? Who was Thomas?" Clara asked. The elderly inventor looked towards the window. "He was my friend." The room became quiet. "You never told us about him," Clara said kindly. Arthur smiled sadly. "No, I suppose I never did." He sat down slowly. "Thomas and I grew up together. We explored the woods, built things, and dreamed of making inventions that would help people." Molly and Pip listened carefully. "What happened?" Pip asked. Arthur looked at the letters. "One summer we had a disagreement." "About what?" Clara asked. Arthur sighed. "Well, I wanted to leave Willowmere and travel the world. Thomas wanted to stay and look after his family's garden. We both believed we were right." He looked down. "And we were both too stubborn to admit we missed each other." The room was silent. "Did you ever see him again?" Molly asked softly. Arthur shook his head. "No, I never did." Clara picked up the next letter. Maybe these explain. She opened the first one. The handwriting was neat and careful. "Dear Arthur, I walked past your old workshop today. The window is dusty, and I wondered if you still built your little machines. I hope you know I never stopped being your friend. I simply waited for you to come home." Arthur closed his eyes. For a moment nobody spoke. Then the wooden fox sitting beside him made a tiny squeaking sound. Arthur laughed quietly. "Even my inventions think I should have done something sooner." The villagers gathered around him. "Where did Thomas live?" Clara asked. Arthur looked towards the hill beyond the village. His family garden was there, the old Meadowbrook garden. Clara nodded. The same garden Elsie had cared for. The forgotten friend had been there all along. The next morning the villagers walked up the hill. They found a beautiful garden hidden behind an old stone wall. Flowers grew everywhere, but the gate was locked and covered in ivy. On the gate was a small sign. "A garden grows best when someone remembers to care for it." Clara touched the words. "What do we do?" Arthur stepped forward. For the first time in many years he looked uncertain. I think I need to knock." He gently tapped on the gate. Nothing happened. He knocked again. Still nothing. Then he whispered, "Thomas." A long moment passed. The gate creaked open, and from inside a familiar voice, "Arthur Finch?" Arthur froze. An elderly man stood among the flowers holding a watering can. His hair was white. His face was older, but his eyes were exactly the same. "You took your time," Thomas said. Arthur smiled. "You always did make me wait." Thomas laughed. After all those years, the two old friends finally shook hands. But neither of them expected what happened next, because behind Thomas, in the middle of the garden, stood a tree that had not flowered in decades. And as the two friends reunited, a single golden blossom opened. The villagers gasped. Clara smiled, because sometimes she knew the greatest magic was simply remembering someone mattered. As to be continued, guys, so join me tomorrow for chapter 4, The Tree That Bloomed Again. Sorry about the dogs barking, guys. It's little snowy boy's writing about something. He don't like people coming past his gate when it's dark. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. The little village of Willowmere, sorry, not Windermere, Willowmere. Join me chapter 4 tomorrow, guys. But we're going back to our romantic Victorian scandal in the morning. And I think soon it'll be decision time for Thomas and Caroline. Lady Caroline and Thomas the chauffeur. It's going to be decision time for them, what they're going to do. So join me for that tomorrow, guys. And join me tomorrow for The Tree That Blossomed Again in the little village of Willowmere. So there we go, guys. Take care now, and thank you for joining me in Storyteller's Corner. Bye-bye now. God bless us all. Bye-bye.